both dramatic and traumatic.
I wrote Damaged Goods sort of off of what I was going through myself. I had went through a really bad breakup with two different women, and it was just me at the time just being torn between the two of what was happening to me in my own life, So I just wrote it in a clever perspective of a way to say, okay, my pregnant girlfriend had passed away, and I couldn't get over her while I was trying to get with the new lady and let her in. And I wasn't allowing her the chance to get in because all I could see when I look at her face was my ex-girlfriend.
My first hashtag that I became aware of was hashtag PTFAO.
Yes.
Can you elaborate on what that hashtag was about?
On the Rock City campaign with the PTFAO, I will say that a lot of that spawned out of misunderstanding. A lot of it spawned out of that, in which it ended up growing into a bigger campaign that they even thought it would have done. But it really did spawn out of misunderstanding as being new artists in the game and not so much understanding the way the game goes, right? Or the way the industry goes. So, and then of course there's me. I'm a in the middle character in this scenario because we're talking about my best friends who I got signed to my boss, who I work for, right? So I'm in the middle of this entanglement, as you would say, today. This was just it's a hard place to be in.
Hi, welcome back to another edition of the Own Your Own series, and we want to make sure that you have all the information, all the resources, and all the knowledge that comes with creating, maintaining possession and ownership of that creative product, and working as you share and distribute to keep your residuals, to keep your cash flow, and ultimately keep the credit for the things that you do. I am really super excited to have a neighbor. If you're from St. Thomas, US Virgin Islands, half of this episode, half of this interview is gonna be conducted in our full Virgin Islands accent, because I feel like you have few places where you get to just speak in your authenticity, be in full accent, and have people actually acknowledge, appreciate, and understand you. The intellect transpires across accents, and so we're here today with none other than DJ Benny D.
Easy.
Welcome. So you might have heard of the rapper EVE. Of course, you know he's the official DJ for Akon. Of course, you might have seen him on the MTV European Music Awards. What I like to giggle about is that little Heineken house party where he was telling the people them about the P, and I was like, hold on. I thought it's all high life and Afro beats. He jamming in Lagos and just letting Lagos, Nigeria connect to the Caribbean and connect to the African diaspora here in the US. So I like to start off light. Let's start with a phrase that I caught from one of his songs. He said about himself that he's a walking razor, cut you deep like the thoughts of an ancestor. And that's what we're going for today, the deep cutting thoughts. Welcome, Benny D.
Thank you so much. Thank y'all for having me. It's a pleasure.
So I'm seeing you without a mask for one of the first times in a long time. We were masked during the pandemic, and then before that, you were masked just as part of your performance.
Yep.
Was there something along the lines of our paying homage to our culture and our heritage in the Caribbean, being descendants of the enslaved, and knowing that we had the masquerades as part of our carnival, or was it like a mask a play on our African ancestry, or is it just showmanship and a different artistic energy? What was the mask about?
Yeah, I'm just a creative, artistic person. So it had nothing to do with ancestry or the culture or any of that. I'm just the type of person that I love to entertain. So I'm always looking for something new to continue my entertainment. So as people know, there was a point in time when I wore a kilt on stage, and it's a kilt, not a skirt. Okay, just make sure they know that. But yeah, I'm always looking for new things to do while performing on stage. I'm a natural born performer, So once I found the mask, me and Akon did a show in London, and it was a masquerade show, and everyone had masks. They had like boxes upon boxes of different masks that you could put on. And I found this one full face black felt mask. And I was like, man, that is one of the most coolest things I had ever seen. And I stole two of the masks, one for me and one for Akon, because he was like, yo, just put it in your bag. And I'm like, yeah, but you want one too? He's like, yeah, give me one. And, you know, I stole the mask, threw them in my bag, and we walked out after we did our performance. But when we came outside to wait for our car, we seen everybody else outside with their masks, and some of the masks just thrown down on the floor. And we actually didn't have to steal the mask; we could just take it. But we still made sure that we had our mask. And I just thought ahead of time and said, man, I could start wearing this on stage. You know what I mean? This would be pretty cool. And it took me a while to try to figure out certain ways of how I could do it, what I could do with it. And then it ended up coming up like I could put the little jewels on it where it could have that little sparkle to it. And then that just ended up taking on a life of its own. So I eventually started having different colors, green and black and purple. I have one that changes into 5 different colors in one. I have red, gold, just different creative things, different ways, you know what I mean? So it's just part of my entertainment. That's all, along with the Mohawk.